Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one. Welcome back to Horizon Forbidden West, where we have managed to successfully recover the final of the 4 errant subroutines required to garner the processing power that we're going to need to contain Hephaestus. We have Ether, Minerva, Poseidon, and I've just recovered Demeter.
It's worse the longer it takes to be delivered, or something like that.
And now I need to return it to Gaia, and then find out what's next. Val and Aaron have just discovered pizza.
It is good to see you again, Aloy. I see you have recovered Demeter.
Demeter, of course, was the subroutine responsible for reseeding the planet with plant life, following the destruction of the Russian plague 1,000 years earlier.
Aloy. With the acquisition of Ether, Poseidon, and Demeter, my heuristic processing density has expanded greatly. I should now be able to absorb Hephaestus, and fortunately, we have made progress on a plan to capture it. With Varl's encouragement, Beta analyzed all available information on Hephaestus. Its expansion has been rampant. It is too large to be beamcast, and the kernel you have been using could never hold it. Therefore, it must be contained in a location with a direct physical connection to me. A place with 2 data cores.
2 cores? Where would we find a place like that?
Gemini.
An abandoned cauldron in the desert west of here. Seismic activity disrupted the original construction. 2 data cores were built as a result.
I know that place. It's near the Desert Clan's capital. We'll have to bring you there by hand.
I have devised a blueprint for a suitable, albeit unwieldy, transport rig. It will require 2 people to carry it to Gemini.
I can help.
Once I am installed on the first core, I will call down Hephaestus on the other, trapping it. I will then initiate the merge. However, in order to construct the rig, I will need considerable help.
Can you build it? I suppose I could, but it's not gonna work. The Zeniths will find you. Minerva won't be able to conceal your location.
That is correct. Absorbing Hephaestus will create a significant power surge, easily detected by anyone capable of noticing.
But what if there were multiple power surges? To fake out the Zeniths? If Erend, Zoe, and Katalo spread out to the other cauldrons and create their own surges, would those conceal the one at Gemini?
Analyzing. Such a tactic might be effective. With Beta's help, we should be able to build a set of handheld pulse generators.
I told you it's not gonna work. I did a test. Hephaestus has written Alpha clearance out of its access module. You'll never be able to capture it.
Then we need a higher level of clearance.
There is no higher... Ted Faro's mega clearance.
The one he used to purge the Apollo database and kill the Alphas.
But to get it, you would have to find Thebes. The private bunker he retreated to when the world ended, and nobody knows where that is, not even the Zeniths. Their only intel was that it was somewhere in San Francisco.
That might be all I need. Alva, the Quen diviner I met, said her people had set up a base at landfall. They were searching for data in San Francisco from there. She might be able to help. So I guess I'm headed all the way west. While I'm gone, will you be able to build the rig and the pulse generators?
I'll try.
I'll make sure she has what she needs.
Ted Faro, you sneaky bastard.
Hulva said the Quinn have a ferry on the coast that they use to get to the ruins of San Francisco. That's where I need to go.
It turns out that with rising sea levels, San Francisco is no longer on the Pacific Northwest coast.
Aloy, I have managed to unlock an additional room near the servers.
Understood.
San Francisco is now a bunch of ruins on islands located off the Pacific Northwest coast. So, next stop, San Francisco and Thebes. Ted Faro's end of the world survival bunker. I am, however, detecting more than a hint of endgame here. And there's still a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't done. So, before we rush off to save the world, I think it's side quest time. Now, not technically a side quest in the true sense of the word, but gear upgrades, as I'm sure many of you have noticed, very important. And you can actually set up quests to obtain the resources that you require for specific gear upgrades by creating a job at the workbench. This will create a quest, known as a job, that you can follow to the location of wherever the resources are that you require. Now, in the case of machine parts, you need to have discovered a machine site of the relevant type of machine that has the components that you need. But for something like green shine, for example, the job will simply create a marker leading straight to the nearest source of the specific type of green shine that you want, whether you knew it was there or not. And as it happens, the very rarest type of green shine that I need to fully upgrade my hunter bow, there's some right here in Plainsong. Well, not in Plainsong, but on one of the radio telescope dishes right next to Plainsong. There's no way you can climb up there, but you can glide to it if you get yourself high enough up the radio telescope that serves as the base upon which Plainsong itself was built. And there you go. One green shine slab. I just need one more and I can fully upgrade my hunter bow. Where, oh where am I going to find more green shine? Show on map. Oh look, there we go. Completely unexplored area. I've never even been here before, but because I set it up as a job in the crafting menu, I can now follow it to the quest marker and get my second green shine slab. So what's next? Well, I haven't done any relic ruins in a while.
An old world ruin. Might have something useful lying around. I should take a look inside.
I'm not sure what this place used to be, but what's that 1623 thing? 1623?
Okay, what's in here?
There were no Europeans in the continental USA in 1620.
This could
well,
be useful.
I think they were. Now, I'll put a pin in that. What's this? I've set the entry code to the year the station was built. Station? This is a train station. In 1623. I think there were Europeans in the continental Americas by 1623. The Vikings were there as early as 1024, I think. And the Spanish were poking around South America in the 1500s, and I think they even got as far as Florida. Other Europeans were settling the east coast, or at least exploring it, by the 1600s, but they certainly weren't building anything out of bricks, and they definitely weren't building train stations because, well, steam engines weren't invented until the 1700s. It's probably fairly obvious to some of you, even if you haven't already played this game, exactly what I've gotten wrong here. But don't worry, I'll figure it out eventually. So, what's up here? Oh, there's another data pad. Let's have a look.
Interesting.
Construction year. Have you looked at the exterior of the station? It's hard to miss. Yeah, so it's got the year that the station was built on the exterior, but it can't possibly have been built in 1623. Don't worry, it wasn't.
Looks
I'm
like
just
this door
stupid.
needs some kind of key module to open. Better search the ruin.
So I need a key module to get that door open. Clearly there's something on the other side of that door that I need, but where's the key module? I'm not seeing anything obvious. Alright, let's have a poke around. So, That door doesn't look like it's opening for anybody anytime soon. Oh, there's some fire gleam over there, which probably means a way to remove a wall and gain access. Let's take a look.
An ancient rail cart.
Nope.
I wonder if it can still move.
Huh.
Okay.
So I can move this. Why would I want to move that? Can I maybe use it to break the wall down? Worth a shot. That'd be no. Oh, there's some green shine up there as well. I can probably get up to the green shine from here then. Using this to jump up. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Use this as a jumping point. Take a look around first though. Yeah, not seeing anything obvious on that side, so... right, well let's go and grab the green shine. It's just a sliver. It's not that valuable. I think I've kind of outgrown green shine slivers now. I mostly need clusters and slabs and things. But I wasn't seeing any obvious entry points from up there. Huh.
Moving this along.
Alright, let's have a look around the other side. Oh, there's something in there. Ah, it's just a supply box.
An old world relic.
Ah,
How do I get in there to get it?
well that's the relic that I'm after. And there's some... I mean, there's still some fire gleam in there, but it's on the inside wall, so it looks like a way of getting out rather than getting in. Well, it took a little bit of aimlessly wandering around, but eventually, out the corner of my eye, I spotted where the key module is. How am I getting up there? See, there's a line over here. That looks like the way up. But how do I get up there in the first place? See, there's a climbing point there, but I can't reach it from the ground. And that's definitely the way up to the key module, but how do I get up there? That's when I realised there's a set of tracks next to the building. Is there a junction up here? There is. Okay. Now this makes sense. So, we grab the train car, rail car, whatever you want to call it. We pull it back past the junction. It's amazing how strong Aloy is, isn't it?
As far as it goes.
She's small, but fierce. Right, let's go and flip the switch.
Looks like this switch controls the tracks.
Now we can push this next to the climbing point, which should allow me to get up onto the rope and then over and pick up the key module. I love these puzzles, by the way. All of these relic room puzzles, every single one of them is unique. Okay, I figure we're back there. Yeah. So climb up the side of this,
Okay.
which allows me to easily... Which should have allowed me to easily make the jump. There we go. That was the valuable box here. Well, I'll take it. And there's the relic. Here we go. So this is how we get the key module. Oh, but... Oh, that was close.
A key module.
Right.
Perfect.
So, back up to the door. So we got the key module, but that only unlocks access to the door. We next need to input the code. And the code is the construction year of the building, and I'd forgotten what it was, so let's go and take a look. Again, just to remind you all of how stupid I am. 1623. Because obviously the Pilgrims, when they arrived in America, they brought their steam engines with them, didn't they? No, of course they didn't. It's not 1623, it's 1923. But the sign's been up over 1,000 years. It obviously, the 9 has slipped. It's no longer held on by 2 points. It's flipped over, and now it looks like a 6. But it took an embarrassing length of time for me to actually realise that. I mean, all the time I was doing this, I was thinking it can't possibly be 1623. This is a train station. There were no...
This needs a code. I think I found some data in the ruin that might help.
Who was building train stations in the continental northwest USA in 1623? I mean, obviously it's not 1623. And I knew that because I'm not... Well, I am stupid, but I'm not stupid in that way. I knew it couldn't possibly be 1623, but I just thought, well, the game developers got it... No, they didn't get it wrong, Jingles. You're just being an idiot. The 9 has slipped. It wasn't even at the same height as the other numbers. There's the clue. It's 1923.
I'm in.
There you go, future game developers. If you ever want to create a puzzle that will completely bamboozle me, make it 100% Jingles proof, just flip one of the numbers around and make it really, really obvious that that's what you've done. The mighty Jingles, being crap at games, so you don't have to. Right.
Okay. Where to now?
That gets us in here. There's the fire gleam. Now initially I was thinking, this fire gleam is to create a way out.
Like this.
And while that's not wrong, that's not all it does, because I don't know if you've noticed that the fire gleam was placed on a spot of the wall that just so happened to have a railway line running through it. Which means I can now get the railway car in here. Okay, that was my way in. You see, I don't need the fire gleam to get out. I didn't need to blow a hole in the wall to get out. I can just jump straight back up here, or climb straight back up there. So the fire gleam is clearly there to enable me to get the rail car in. So I'm going to need the rail car to get up to where the relic is. I mean, I was capable of figuring out that much by myself. Because it wasn't a number that had been flipped around. So, yeah, I'm not good with numbers. You might have noticed. For example, just this week in Mingles with Jingles, I was talking about games publishers strong-arming games review websites and journalists to get favourable reviews, and I was talking about the game Kane and Lynch, Dead Men, that came out in 2007, which was 23 years ago, according to my mathematics. Like I said, I'm not good with numbers. Maths is hard. I should have been a stripper. Okay.
The tracks are lined up with the curve side now.
Let's push this thing into the
Move
station
this over here.
and see where that gets us.
Okay.
Okay, I can see where I'm going from here. This is why we needed the rail car in here, because I wouldn't have been able to reach that otherwise. And there it is,
Made it.
the relic.
Okay, got the relic. According to this data, this thing might have had something to do with Las Vegas. Maybe I should head back there.
Oh yes, Las Vegas, where we recovered Poseidon. You remember the Oseram delvers there, who were hunting for things that they called embers, which were basically holographic emitters? That's what these old world relics actually are. And since we last saw them, Erin did say that they've set up shop in Las Vegas and they've got quite a thriving business going on down there. Perhaps I should go and see them.
Always talk this much crap before.
Stemmer, did you need something?
As a new dream dawned for the adventuring trio, they returned to the depths of the formerly sunken city, where fortune was found behind every crumbling wall as a bulging keg bursts with free-flowing ale. That is, we broke our way into more of the ruins below, and in one of them, the wordsmith beheld a glimmering gizmo, a wonder among a sea of wonders. Alas, the gizmo lay beyond his grasp.
You saw some kind of gizmo but couldn't get it?
A door bars the way, locked by some confounded means. Moreland contemplated explosives, but Abaddon thought the odds of crushing the gizmo under rubble were too high. For once, the Shard counter-skepticism might be warranted. The old wordsmith's hopes were dashed, until a friend with a knack for performing the impossible returned from beyond the sands. Might I persuade you to venture beneath the desert once more?
I'll see what I can do. Where is this place?
Once you're down there, take a right at the statue of the giant man. The ruin rests beside a metal tower. And so our heroine went forth, and the wordsmith's hopes went with her.
So, back into the ruins of Las Vegas. It was substantially easier to navigate this place last time we were here because it was not flooded, although that did come with its own set of challenges. And we had a brief look at this place as we climbed out after we pumped all the water out, but we didn't really explore it. So...
At least I don't have to swim down anymore.
Let's see what's what. I mean, even visually everything's changed as well, because a lot of the holograms that were in place down here the last time around have been generated by Poseidon. But this... Yeah, I've already seen a lot of these data logs. I mean, this was all flooded the last time I was here. But these are the original holograms. Everything got reset back to, well, factory settings, I suppose you'd call them, once we'd extracted Poseidon.
Nope, that's not the one I need.
This was the hotel that Stanley Chen, I believe, built. Hotel and casino. Guy made his fortune originally in water filtration systems.
I don't think this is the place Moreland was talking about. The burner should be deeper in the ruins.
Made his fortune ensuring that Las Vegas remained inhabitable. What Aloy's talking about here is another side quest down here in the ruins.
Okay, there's the giant statue that Stemmer mentioned. The ruins should be nearby.
Moreland, the Osram Tinker, is building a hot air balloon, and he needs a burner for it.
So many winged serpent statues, but none with a burner.
And one of these dragons has a burner in its mouth. But that's not a side quest that we're going to be following today. Instead, we're chasing down a gizmo for Stenmer. So, the statue of the astronaut. Stenmer said to look to the right of the statue of the astronaut, and it's in a ruin next to a metal tower. Well, he didn't say astronaut, he wouldn't know what an astronaut was. He said a giant man. And that's this. And next to it is a giant metal tower, which will be the replica of the Eiffel Tower. And the ruin I'm looking for is right next to that.
I think I'm in the right place. Now, where's that gizmo?
Well, I think I can see it from here, actually. Although, yeah, there's some goodies. Quick ping, just in case there's anything obviously
That must be the gizmo.
valuable lying
Looks like
around.
this door
There's a
needs a
grapple
code
point
to
up there. I'm sure that's going to be useful in a
Check around the
moment.
ruin. See if I can find anything that might help.
And there it is. But I can't get through the door. It needs a code. Right, grapple point. So where does this lead? Oh, almost. Okay. Doesn't look like any of these doors work, so I guess we're going upstairs.
What's in here?
More goodies. There's a data log there. And looks like I can get up here. Let's check out the data log before we go any further. Okay, this is a new one.
Gizmo's actually
Malfunction. Blah 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 blah. Carl's convinced it's a malfunction. Changed his code for the office. Here's the code. Data corrupted 135, 6-digit code, as in the RSVPs he sent out. But we've only got the last 3 digits. So I'm going to need to find the first 3 digits, presumably on the RSVPs that he sent out.
They're called an ornament.
Makes sense.
Found one of these in another ruin. Sounds like there are more out there. And it looks like there's part of a code. Might be for the door.
So,
Better keep looking around.
yeah,
Maybe I can find the rest of it.
all of the relic runes that you come across in the game, the relics are actually these ornaments, these gizmos. And it's here in Las Vegas where there's an actual point to collecting them, aside from telling a bit of a story. Because once you've collected enough of the relics, Stenmer will give you some legendary gear.
A hatch. Might lead to another part of the ruin. But how to get to it? There's an opening at the top of the fence. Could be a way in, if I can find a way to get up there.
Like those 2 crates, perhaps?
Those crates could help me reach the opening at the top of the fence.
But how do we get them out of there? Maybe if I pull on the one at the bottom, the one at the top will dislodge. Worth a try.
I can't pull this out. It looks like the crate on top's blocked.
Okay, that's not going to work. So how do I disengage the crate on top so I can pull out the crate from the bottom? There's a hole in the fence there.
Maybe there's a way to pull the top crate off.
I can use the pull caster on it.
There we go.
Yep, that works. Okay, so now I can pull the bottom crate out. But all I've really done here is create another 2 problems, because how am I going to get the second crate out? And how am I going to get the second crate on top of this one? Because this one crate isn't going to be enough to reach the gap in the fence. Or is it? Let's give it a try. Nope, not even close. So I do need to get that other crate out. But I can't push it with the pull caster, because it's a pull caster. Oh, hang on a second. There's another crate in there, and another gap in the fence. Am I supposed to give it a shot? No. No, pull caster won't grab onto that one. Okay. Come back to that later, once I actually get in there. So that one crate by itself isn't enough to get over the fence. So I do need to get the other crate out. The question is how. I can't push it with the pull caster, because it's a pull caster, not a push caster. So I can't do what I just did from the same position. And there's not enough space. I mean, I can jump up here and I can grab onto it, but I can't pull it from there. So how do I get access to that second crate? Unless I'm not supposed to do it yet, but I don't see what else I can do, because I can't get in there without that. I can do it from here. There it is. Right, so I have the second crate. Now I need to get that crate on top of that crate. And I think I see a way of doing it. The ramp behind me. Let me just have a quick look back where I got the crates from, just in case there's something there that's now accessible or visible now that the crates are no longer blocking it. That would be no. Okay, back to the crates. See, I've come across something like that in another relic ruin where there was a very suspiciously square crate-shaped alcove. Just like this one. And also I had to somehow arrange for a way to get 2 crates on top of each other. So if I stick this one over here, I should then be able to push the other one off the top of the ramp and onto it. Because the crates kind of snap together once you've got them in place. And then you can push them as one unit. This should be it. There it is. Now I should be able to maneuver both of them as one over to the fence and then get through the gap on top.
There. Should be able to reach the opening now.
Okay. And now what? because there's a vent in the floor, but I can't actually get to it through the grating that I'm standing on. But I can get down. See, there's another crate in here. See, I can get down to there, but I can't grab onto this. I mean, I can grab onto it. I just can't move it from this side. But I did move it back a little bit. Now, remember, I could aim the pull caster through the hole in the fence at that crate, but it wouldn't hold on until you've moved it to clear the obstruction, and now you can. And there it is. So with that out of the way, where does that lead to? Does that get me in? Yes, it does. I'm going to need to use the pull caster again. I can't just rip this open. So this should let me open up the hatch in the floor.
Let's see where this leads.
And now to find out where this leads. Okay, that doesn't open. The chest of valuables here. I'll take those. Oh, some fairly good stuff in there. I have to kick this open. Oh, we're back.
Oh, I'm back outside.
Yeah,
What else is up here?
outside. And there's a signal coming from down there. That's actually a vista point. Probably the most annoying vista point in the entire game. But I can pull this wall open. I'll actually show you that vista point and how to get it, because it drove me to distraction. It requires pixel perfect positioning. But here's another data log.
Looks like the ornaments were part of something called the Knights of Lights holiday promotion?
So this one's RSVP requested, and they did say that the code was also going to be included in the RSVPs that got sent out, and sure enough, there it is. There's the first 3 figures of the code. And I already have the final 3 figures from the other data log.
A way to celebrate old world holidays by changing the holograms above ground? But how?
So,
The other part of the code's here too. This should have what I need to open the door.
doesn't seem to be anything else in here other than a chest of valuables. So, now I've got the code, back to the door and pick up the gizmo for Stenma. Actually, hang on a minute. I'm not even sure I can retrace my steps. Not back the way I came. But I don't have to, because there's a balcony here. I can just drop down and come back in through the front door. Which is... yeah, this way. And I've already forgotten what the code was. Okay. That's fine, you can always go back and review your data logs. Here it is. First half, 739 135.
There we go. I'm in.
And I'm in.
Got it. Time to head back up to Stemmer.
The gizmo is actually a holographic emitter, part of the set.
Maybe we can figure out how to make this thing work.
And the others are all located in the various different relic ruins scattered around the world. It's not all that was down here though, there was a vista point as well. Around here somewhere. There it is.
An image from the old world. Looks like part of the city inside the dome.
So there's a bridge, there's the statue of the astronaut, and there's the Eiffel Tower reconstruction. There's the Vista Point Tower. So what you need to do here is, using your focus, match up the image on the Vista Point with what you can actually see down here in order to unlock it. Most of the Vista Points aren't quite the pain in the arse that this one is. So I'm going to show you exactly where you need to stand, like to the pixel, in order to get this thing unlocked. This bridge that I'm standing on right here, right next to the Vista Tower, is actually part of the vista point itself. So you need to get to a point where you can see this bridge, as well as the tower and the astronaut statue. You can see we need to be a lot further away because from here the tower is just too big. So I know I need to be standing on a bridge with a view of that bridge, the tower, and the astronaut statue. So if you head back over to here where you defeated the Tide Ripper, see there's the astronaut, there's a bridge, or the remains of one. And it's also the way you need to be going to get out anyway, because when the Delvers came in and helped you against the Tide Ripper, they dropped a ladder. So you climb up here, which is the way you need to be going anyway. And this is the tricky part. Because Aloy even confirms that you're standing in the right spot.
I can get a good view of the city from this overhang. Maybe I should try to line up the image here.
That's her as good as telling you you were in the right spot. Now remember exactly where I was standing as I go and try and line it up from over here, because it wasn't actually lining up correctly. And it's just slightly off. The angle's just off a bit. It actually looked better from where I tried in the first place. Let's give it another shot. Again, not quite right. I was actually standing in the right spot. Or almost. I was maybe a pixel or two out of alignment. Tried again, up the ladder, and then without moving from this spot, I mean, it lines up perfectly, but nothing. I actually got so frustrated, I ended up having to go to YouTube and find a video showing how to do it. And I was standing in the right spot, it's just this little bit of overhang right here. Check this out. But here's the frustrating part. I know I'm standing on the right spot, I just went to YouTube and checked, but it's just not lining up. I mean, it is lining up, but it's not locking into place, if you like, and revealing the vista point. See where I'm standing? I spent another minute or two trying to find the correct spot when I'm actually on the correct spot the whole time. But here's the really annoying thing. See how I'm trying to line it up here? It's just not happening. Wait for it. So I give up. And then I don't even move and I just flash up the focus again. And suddenly it works. I didn't even move. I was in the right spot the whole time. That is easily, seriously, none of the other vista points are anywhere near as awkward as that one is. But if you're doing this for yourself, take note of exactly where I was standing, and then you too can experience the frustration of that thing just not lining up properly no matter how hard you try. Right, anyway, we've got Stenmer's gizmo, let's get it back to him.
Heroine, Delver of the Deep. The Nora returned, but did she bring tidings of triumph or misfortune?
I got the gizmo, and it's not the only one I found. Here.
The old wordsmith, a keen spark in his eye and gratitude in his heart, held aloft the gizmo that had eluded him.
It's called an ornament, actually. Part of a set. I think there are more scattered in ruins beyond the desert. I might be able to track them down.
And so the mystery of the ornament deepened. For what purpose were these trinkets designed?
Something called the Knights of Light's holiday promotion. It's a way the old ones celebrated special occasions, I think.
Like feasts?
Kind of. I think a holiday marked a seasonal event?
And so does every feast in the claim. There's the Feast of the First Keg, the Feast of Fermentation, the All Hops Feast.
All about ale, huh? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Anyway, these ornaments could supposedly change the lights above ground, but I'm not sure how.
I recognize this marking. Saw the same on a little device we unearthed. Here.
It might be able to turn on the lights.
Time to find out. Which one should I try first?
So you can choose from all of the other relics that you've uncovered so far. Let's try Christmas.
This one seems good.
I hope Abaddon is ready for this.
And no matter what time of day you do this, it switches to nighttime so you can actually see them.
Sure as sparks kindle flame. This must have been some kind of winter festival. What kind of beast is that? Almost looks like a fang horn. Let me know if you find any more of those ornaments.
Oh yeah, I found a few.
The old ones celebrate. Aloy, this old wordsmith is always happy to see you. So, what can I do for you?
Let's try... I don't even know what this is, but we're going to try
Let's
it.
go with this one.
I'll get right to it. This must have been the Feast of the Crescent Moon. But they couldn't have celebrated every crescent moon, could they? By the Forge, that'd be a lot of feasts.
Does anybody know what that celebration is? It's not one I've ever heard of.
So she entered once more, our heroine, whom all adore. So, are you feeling festive? Take your pick.
I don't know what Bodhi Day is either, but we're going to see.
Let's see this one.
You got it. Beneath the cascade of golden leaves, the old wordsmith found himself reflecting inwards, meditation of the mind, and a calming of the spirit.
I mean, I could Google these, but
Journeys unknown.
that's what you lot are for. You don't get a dog and wag your own tail, do you?
So, did you want to make some
How about St.
changes
Patrick's
around
Day?
here?
I mean, everybody knows what that is.
I want to see this one.
And so the wordsmith set out to bring new light to the ruins above.
It's going to be four-leaf clovers, isn't it?
Why by the Forge?
Yeah, of course
The
it
old
is.
ones celebrate some kind of green leaf.
It's for luck, I think.
So every time you recover a relic from a ruin,
Put this one in.
you bring it back to Stenmer in Las Vegas, and he'll show you what it does. And once you've recovered all of the relics from all of the relic ruins, he'll even throw in a legendary weapon for you.
Showers of sparks.
We're not quite done for today, though. There's still a couple of other interesting bits and pieces that I discovered while wandering around the Forbidden West. And the first thing that I want to show you is this ruined house on the cliffs overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Whoever lived here back in the day definitely had plenty of spare cash lying around. It's situated in some fairly extensive grounds, and it has one hell of a view. Properties like this don't come cheap. I think I saw what looked like a... Yep, that would have been a swimming pool. Swimming pool with a glass bottomed floor? Yeah. On the cliff overhang over the ocean. This is an expensive property. Oh, and that in the distance? That's the Zenith base. More on that in a future video. So I was kind of intrigued by this place. Even more so when I went downstairs and realised, hang on a minute, I've seen this sort of thing before. Now it's not a gene-locked zero dawn access door. If it was, I'd be able to get through it. But I've seen doors like this before. Now this one's locked. And at the moment I can't get through it. But I suspect that at some point in the future I probably am going to be able to get through it. I thought there might have been a key panel here, and it looks like a key panel, but, well, it's not accessible at the moment. So what the hell is this place? Because it's obviously important. So, who do we know who's important to the story of the Horizon series and had the money to be able to afford a place like this, complete with its own underground bunker that's still operational 1,000 years after construction? Now, this is just idle speculation on my behalf, but I think this may have been one of Ted Faro's homes. In case you're playing the game yourself and you're curious about exactly where this is, I'll show you it here on the map. Oh, there's a metal flower over there. But yeah, here we go. It's not Thebes, that much I know, because Thebes is located in San Francisco and that's further to the northwest. Thebes is the bunker that Ted Faro retreated to wait out the end of the world. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this wasn't one of his other homes, because let's face it, the man had more money than God. He almost certainly had more than one home. But this far into the game, that's my working theory anyway. This is one of Ted Faro's old cribs. Now the final thing that I wanted to show you, and we are skipping ahead a lot, but don't worry, no spoilers. This actually comes from the Burning Shores expansion, which you get to play upon completion of the main game. And it expands on the storyline, but again, no spoilers. There is, however, this one little thing from the Burning Shores that I really do want to show. So the Burning Shores is set in Los Angeles, or the ruins of Los Angeles, and in order to find the thing that I want to show you, first you're going to need to find, well, everybody knows it as Mann's Chinese Theatre on Hollywood Boulevard. It goes by a different name now, it's been bought and sold many times over the years, but find this recognisable landmark, then head up Hollywood Boulevard and take your first left turn. I can't remember the name of this road, not important. So, you might be aware that the character of Silence in the Horizon series was played by the late great Lance Reddick, who most of you probably know from his role either in The Wire or as the concierge of the Continental Hotel in the John Wick movies. Well, sadly Lance died shortly after making Horizon Forbidden West, which means that whoever they picked to play the character of Silence in the third game has got some big shoes to fill. But, in recognition of his contribution to the game and cinema in general, the developers put this in for him, and I think that's really cool. But that is it for today. We'll be cracking on with the main plot in the next episode, but I hope you've enjoyed this one, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.